I didn't know if you wanted to introduce anybody. I didn't know if you wanted to speak really quickly because, again, it's kind of your team Zoom, and then I can kind of talk, and I know we'll talk back and forth, but I didn't know if you wanted to start with anything. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, friend. I am so excited to be here. You guys, if you don't know me, I'm obsessed with your leader. I'm assuming if you don't know me, it's because you're on Macy's team. So I'm obsessed with your leader. She's one of my closest friends. Seriously adore her so much. And I just really wanted, I mean, she's just amazing overall, and you guys are going to be able to hear that from her and just the wisdom that she has. Just as a sideline sister, I've just watched her grow so much just over the last like couple of like weeks and months, and it's crazy just to see. So I think we met like last fall, I believe, is when like we actually kind of, I feel like it was, I don't remember when it was, but it feels like it was a long time ago. But whenever we connected just to now, it's just crazy to see the growth in leadership just like from person to person. So I really just wanted to kind of have her on. I know kind of our Zoom, whatever we're doing tonight, this little collab thing. But I'm excited for it just because I know I'm excited to be able to pour into your girls and for you to pour into my girls as well. But yeah, I'm just kind of excited to kick it off.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So thanks for asking me to do this, but I know that my team's really, really excited too. And they know who you are for the majority, but then I do have new people on here, and I don't know if you do. I'm sure you do too. So shout out if you're new. I always love giving newbie shout outs because I know when I first joined, like I was on fire. I was ready to learn and take in all the tips, and I'm still 6 years in, and I'm just like so excited to learn. So the title of this was, I think it was like taking off the pressure and like enjoying the growth process. And that was something, do you need to get started? Hold on, you guys. Dallas is getting started with his video game, so I need to transport over to another room. Cheyenne, if you want to just like speak for like 2 seconds.
No, you're good. Yeah, I love that. I literally just had to shut my door because my boyfriend's playing them too, so I totally understand. But yeah, I guess I can kind of give you guys just a little bit about me real quick, and then once Macy's good, she can just kind of share a little bit about her story too, just for those of us that don't know who I am or who we are and everything. But if you don't know me, hello, I'm excited to be on here and everything with you guys tonight. My name's Cheyenne Nickerson. I'm a triple diamond in our amazing company, and I have been here for 3.5 years. I'm trying to think. It's like kind of all a blur. I joined late October of 2017, so it's been about 3.5, almost 4 years now. And honestly, you guys, just kind of a long story short, I've completely changed my life because of this business in so many more ways than just making a financial impact and different things like that. Just the person that I have become truly is overall just amazing. I mean, I don't know if that's weird to say, but just the growth alone is just amazing to see, and I'm just excited for that. And honestly, I feel like probably the biggest blessing from this is like the community aspect of it too. I didn't really have a bunch of friends growing up. That wasn't really who I was. I was really kind of like an introverted person, and so being in this, it's like that introvert's way of just like whoa, because like it, I don't know, it like makes me, it feels so different, and it's not as weird, I guess, because I literally, guys, like social anxiety. I don't do crowds. I don't do a lot of people. But if you get me on a Zoom, I'm fine for some reason. So I don't really understand what that is. But I just absolutely love what this opportunity has brought to me and my family and everything. But Macy, you can share a little bit about your story too as well.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Macy. I'm from Mississippi, and I joined this business. It's crazy to say 6 years because when I say 6 years, I like instantly like the insecurities like break out, and they're like, oh, but people are gonna think you should be a lot further along than you are now. So just to take that away, my first year I really didn't do anything. So if you're that person and you came back and you haven't worked and then now you're on fire, I get it. I'm not gonna judge you. That's why you always need to give grace to the leaders or the people on your team who don't give off like immediately. For the people who maybe ignore you a little bit, keep bugging them, keep giving them your energy. Obviously there's a certain point, but I promise you sometimes those people will appreciate it because it's just not their timing. Anyways, I have like 3, 4, 6 amazing people on my freaking team who are just killing it, and they've come back to the business. So aside from that, but been in the business 6 years. I joined in college, broke college student. That's like kind of a basic story. Never had money to like pay bills. I couldn't even afford a $5 shirt at Walmart. Like literally had to wear a tag in it and then return it for a Christmas party. Like it was really embarrassing. And so all that, but all that to say is, before I didn't have confidence. I believed in like God and things like that, but my faith was just not strong. There was just a lot of things I needed personal growth with. And that's actually like the topic that I'm going to talk to you guys about with the growth. There was a lot of things in life that I was just like, wow, how did I do life before? Like, it's just crazy how things happen in this business, because at this business, I was able to obviously reach the financial goals that I wanted to. And I became debt free last year. Like I'm a triple diamond in this company. I'm hitting Prez, like our team is going Prez. We're shooting for it. There's a lot of things in between, but that's kind of like the short version. I won't go into super big detail because my team is on here, and then Cheyenne, I've talked on your team Zoom before, so I won't be super repetitive. But if you have any questions about my story, let me know. But let me just tell you, it's been like this, but it's constantly been up. It hasn't been like, oh, going down, you know. That's just business and life in general. But this company and just the things that it's done for me personally have just been indescribable, and not just financially. Like, we're set financially, you know, I'm paying for my wedding in cash this month. Like, I'm doing all the financial things that I want to, but aside from that, it's like, it's just mind blowing to see. And so I'll kind of like dive right into it. So this is like my first question that I have for you guys. The title, like I had mentioned before Dallas walked in, was taking the pressure off, and then enjoying the growth process, or whatever. So if we can be really honest, how many of you, and drop a one if you're someone who doesn't like change? Because I look back and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I necessarily love change as much. So if you're that person, you can drop a one. And if you aren't, and you're like, you know what, I kind of vibe with change, you can put two. Okay. Don't feel the pressure to put one. So a lot of y'all are putting ones, and that kind of shows you that, number one, you're not alone. And number two, people who do not like to change, but you have to change anyways. Can y'all hear me? It says my internet's unstable. Okay. Okay. Just making sure. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you're kind of glitchy, but I can hear you.
okay. Dang it. If I start going out, I don't know why it's messing up. I have literally full bars. Hold on one second. Okay, my TV is off. Can y'all hear me? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me try my phone.
No, you're good. Girl, happens to the best of us.
Y'all, I'm so sorry. My Wi-Fi sucks here. Like, I'm out in the middle of the woods, and our Wi-Fi will go like in and out. Did not expect this though, because normally when I'm on Zooms, people can hear me. Can you hear me? Or am I
Yeah, you're good. You're a lot more clear now.
Okay. If I start being choppy, I'll look at the comments, just say choppy, okay, or say something. And hopefully I'm just praying that it does not mess up, and then it will just work. So anyways, what I was saying is, a lot of people don't like change, but you have to change anyways in order for you to grow. And that's kind of what the topic is tonight, is to just show people like the growth process does not have to be painful. You can experience it, and you can love it. You can love every single season that you're in. And I know a lot of people, when they come into this business, they expect maybe just like $100 or $200. And then they start making that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with all these other things that this business provides you with. And I think that the biggest blessing that is from this business overall is that it allows you to change. It allows you to get outside of your comfort zone, and there's no like ways around it. It's there. Like, that's what we have an advantage of compared to maybe some jobs that you stay at for 20 years. You do the same repetitive work day in, day out, and you don't have to sit here and train people, or you don't have to sit here and be a mentor to people. And so that's a big benefit that we have in this business. And so I want y'all to know that you have a huge, huge opportunity and blessing in your life to grow with it. So I'm actually going to read. So if you are on my Zooms before, you know how much I'm a terrible reader out loud, but I do like to read because read stuff. I learn stuff all the freaking time. And this is from the book that I read today. And it's the leadership, the John Maxwell leadership. And it's for July, but it says create a growth environment. And so this can kind of give you like a mental image. But it says create a growth environment. And then it says, just as the growth of tropical fish is limited by the size of the aquarium in which they live, you are affected by your environment. That's why it's crucial to create an environment of growth around you. That kind of place should look like this. And then it says, like, it gives you a list of things, and it says others are ahead of you. When you surround yourself with people from who you can learn, you are always more than likely to grow, which we always tell you guys to sit here and grow outside of the people that you already know. Grow outside the people who are already in your comfort zone of like just your family or just your friends. Always lift up that lid. And I promise you, when you do that, you'll realize areas that you don't normally grow in that you need to grow into. Like normally for me, I feel confident in like the paychecks that I make. But guess what? When I go around top income earners, when I go around Morgan and Cheyenne, and when I go around other people and they start shooting out the numbers they're making, and I was like, oh, I thought I was good, you know, and it's a good thing. It's not an unhealthy, like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have made that. It's not anything like that. It's like, wow, I need to like level up. I need to get better. And so you constantly want to create a growth environment. And then it says, we're still challenged. Complacency kills growth. So if you're not growing, complacency is going to take key. So you have to know that growth is actually a good thing and you changing is a good thing. Because complacency, how many people do you know that's at their same job that is miserable because they've been in the same spot, same position, same pay for the past 20 years or the past 15 years, and they're just staying at it just to get to retirement from it? That's my parents, okay? And so that can kind of like just get the ball rolling in your mind. And it says your focus is forward. If you're thinking more about the past than the future, your growth has probably stopped. And then it says the atmosphere is affirming. Industrialist Charles Schwab said, I have yet to find the man who did not do better work and put forth greater effort under a spirit of approval than under a spirit of criticism. And it says you're out of your comfort zone. Growth requires risk. So I'm letting you know now, when you decide to grow in this business, because any step that you take forward, you're deciding to grow. So you're already taking that step forward. There's going to be risk. There's going to be risk. Some days it's going to be really hard. There's going to be risk when you're a leader. It's going to be a little bit harder. There's going to be risk when sometimes someone hurts your feelings when you ask them to put up a post for you, okay? How many people have you actually asked like before and then you got that one mean lady and then it just ruined your day? That happens. So you have to realize that you're going to create risk, but that does not mean that it's necessarily a bad thing. It just means that it's creating more of a boundary for you to be able to handle things. And then it says, others are growing. And then it says, when it comes to growth, it's better to swim in a school than to try to do everything on your own. And you know that you join this business for yourself. And then once you start making a little bit of money, you realize it's not about you anymore. You realize that it's time to swim with others, just like Morgan always references Nemo when they get in the ocean and they're swimming down, down, down. That's way better than you trying to swim alone. It's very exhausting when you try to swim alone. And if you've been in this business before and you've promoted alone and you've lost it, or maybe you went diamond and then you lost a team and then you're trying to just work and it's all you, it gets very tiring. You want to work with people. And then it says there's a willingness to change. Clayton G. Orcutt declared change itself is not progress, but change is the price that we pay for progress. And then it says growth is modeled and expected. In the best possible environment, growth is not only allowed, but leaders model it and expect it from everyone. And when that happens, everyone's potential is off the charts. So anyways, and then the last part of this says take responsibility for creating an environment of growth for your team members. So if you're not yet a leader, but you're someone who wants to be in the leadership position, which I feel like we don't all, like, I could say, I think it was, I cannot remember who it was. I think maybe it was Cami that said this. I don't know. It was like 85% of people don't join this business to become a leader. They join this business for them. And then none of them like just instantly join this business and are like, I'm going to claim top 150. No, it doesn't happen like that. Normally it molds into that. And so I want you to know that if you are sitting here and you're new or you're older, whatever position you're in that creativity to grow. And so many people put pressure on themselves when they're trying to grow because they don't see themselves grow as fast as someone over here. Or you compare yourself to someone over here and it's just not, it can't even be the same comparison. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about is like the growth stages and just realizing that you are probably in the season. Well, not probably, you are in the season for a reason. And every single thing in your life that happens for the good. I don't know if any of y'all have watched the show Manifest, but I just finished the show Manifest and it's so freaking good and it's on Netflix, but there's only like 2 seasons of it. But the motto in every single episode was all, let me see, I wrote it down. Let's see. It says, I'm gonna butcher it if I wrote it down, but I'll probably butcher it because I can't find it. But it says like all good work for those, all good things work out or something like that. It wasn't like necessarily the Bible verse, or maybe it was, I don't know, but all good things work for everybody. Okay. And so whatever's happening to you in this moment, in this season, everything is happening for your good. Even if you feel like you're about to just like lay out and die because you're just like, I can't handle this anymore. Okay. And if you're not newer in this business and you know the trials that come when you're a business owner, you know the trials that come when just being a leader in general, I'll tell y'all a little bit of my backstory. So when I promoted in this business, I promoted to Ruby rank alone. Okay, so it was just me doing Ruby, which is fine. I feel like a lot of people can promote to Ruby alone. It's really not that hard. It's actually pretty simple. But when I got to Emerald and Diamond, I didn't promote alone. Okay, so I went to Diamond. As soon as I went Diamond, half of my team left. Okay. And this isn't like if you're new and you're like, oh, I don't want that to happen. No, it was actually the biggest blessing that could have happened. Okay. I have really great perspective from this, but I'm just trying to give y'all like outlook on this. So when I went Diamond, I lost it, lost the rank, lost my team, whatever, gained it back probably a year later. Okay. And then I lost it again, gained it back, lost it again, gained it back, whatever. It was a process. Okay. And I realized, and I told my team, or I told my prayer team this yesterday, so I'll tell y'all this today, is when you are going through those type of seasons, and this can be something in your life when you're like, why does the same thing keep happening to me? Why do I keep getting in bad relationships? Why do I keep getting in this situation? Or why do I keep getting in this financial situation? I know someone's family who's been through bankruptcy more than like 5 or 6 times. And so they could say that with their financial situation, you know? And one thing that Amber Parker said last night on a leadership Zoom, if you weren't on that, or not last night, Monday, she was saying that every single time you're in a season, you have to appreciate the season that you're in. And chances are, if you go back to the same season that you were already in before and you thought that you were out of, chances are is you did not learn your lesson of that last season. Or you did, but you now need to learn a new lesson in that season. So I lost rank of Diamond 3 times. The first time, it was just out of plain, just kind of like, I literally went Diamond and I was like, oh my gosh, world's great, awesome. I stopped working, okay? I feel like a lot of people do that, don't do that. But I did that. So that was out of kind of stupidity. I gained it back in a very selfish way. I was like, team, let's go because I need this paycheck. I was very selfish in that moment. Well, lost it again. Sorry, you guys. But I lost it again. And then I realized, and I was just like, what do I need to learn from this situation? What do I need to learn? And it kind of gives you a different perspective every single time you go back into the whole of something. And it's never, and I think now I can say this coming from experience of being a triple diamond leader, being in a financially good place, and being through the ins and outs, I can actually say this with confidence, saying that every single season worked good. But when I was in those seasons, it didn't feel like it. And so I want you to know, coming from this perspective now, is that if you're someone who is so close to quitting because you're in a hard season, or you think it's too hard, or you think it's too difficult, I'm telling you, you're going to do more damage. And if you've prayed about it and you're like, you know what, this just isn't for me, I can't say anything about that. But if you're someone that's like, it's just too hard, put my hands up, I'm telling you, you're going to make a mistake, because you are not going to realize what you can fully hold in your life. You're not going to realize what you can fully what your mind can do for you, and like the things and blessings that can come. And like Claire Flores, I think, was the one that said this, but you're the leader. And so you're the person who has this mantle. Okay. And so people put their problems on you, and your mantle is strong enough to hold it because God gave you that mantle, because he knew the trials that you went through to get there. And now he knows that you can hand it over because you realize the trials that you went through. Now you can help your team with it. It's the same thing, same scenario with you. Okay. So if you're going through something, and now looking back, I can tell y'all it's good, it's fine, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. But if you're in that season right now where you feel like you just can't pick it up and you can't keep going, I'm telling you, just keep pushing forward and ask yourself and give yourself a perspective of, what am I trying to learn in this season? What can I learn? What did I not do last time? What did I do last year at this time? There's so many different scenarios that you can come up with in your mind. And so that's the question I want you to kind of get rolling in this season, and I'm not saying this season is bad for everybody, it's a great season for me. My team has been on fire. My team is excited. I love the summer because it literally allows me to put in the work that some other people stop doing. And you'll hear Morgan and Cheyenne say that all the time because it's so true. Some people have quit. Some people have given up because they're like, it's too hard. I literally had a girl sign up a couple days ago, and then not even 42 hours later, she was like, this isn't for me. And I texted her back and I said, how in the world do you even know it's not for you? I was like, can you at least trust me for like another 72 hours? Like at least. She quit anyways. That's fine. But it's just like, how can people give up on themselves too easily? Or if you're on the flip side of it and you've been in this business 6 years like I have, and you're like, nothing's going right, this is going wrong, I have this team over here, this, and you just start complaining, okay? It's all about what you expect through that season. If you're in a season and you're like, this is never going to end, this sucks, this is terrible, and you start having this negative conversation with yourself, it is all about expectation. And so I watched Manifest, which Manifest was actually, there was a lot of correlation with having faith in it. There was a lot of things about miracles happening. And if y'all haven't watched it, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you have watched it, you'll realize, you're like, oh my gosh, that is kind of like it. Because as I was watching it, when it said all good things work for the good of those who love others or something like that, all these things started connecting, and I was like, I feel like this show could actually teach me some things. Like, even though it's fake, I feel like it could teach me some things. And then today I watched The Secret, but not the first movie, the second movie. It's The Secret, The Dream Giver, I think. And there was some good quotes in there, so I'll read those so y'all can like, and if y'all ever like have any questions in the chat, just stop me and just ask questions. Or Cheyenne, if you have questions, just ask me. I just like to like talk about these things because growth and just personal development, all those things are like my jam. I can talk to y'all about mass enrolling and stuff all day long, but I think it just all starts with up here, like 100%. So one of the quotes was, he was talking to the guy in the movie. He was talking to this little girl, and she was super negative because her mom was super negative, her family was super negative, and she was just like, why are you like so nice to us? Like, why are you doing this? Like, why? Like, why would you do this to us? Like, we don't deserve it. We don't need it. We don't, like, why? And he had said, ask yourself this, and it says, is this a friendly universe? And your answer determines your life. And I know this is probably, it could be bizarre for some of you, but if y'all know me, y'all know I talk about manifestations all the time and like just expectations of that. And like, if you want to know more about manifesting, I'll tell y'all about that kind of at the end too, just for people who haven't heard that before. But what we do when manifesting is we address the universe, but we address God as well. I'm super spiritual, so obviously I'm going to address God, but I feel like they work hand in hand. And so when he asked that, I was just like, that kind of opened up my eyes. Ask yourself daily, is today going to serve me? And then if you're walking into a situation and you're like, is this going to serve me? And keep asking yourself that as you go through the day. If you know that you're about to go make a mistake by maybe going to send a really mean text message to someone because you were pissed off, or because someone hurt your feelings and you were about to just tell them how you felt, and it was a really mean message, or you were about to tell someone you never wanted to talk to them again. It could be so many different scenarios, you guys, so just bear with me. Ask yourself, does it serve you? And if you can full-heartedly say no, then walk away. But if you can say yes, then now you have good expectations for the day. And then this was another quote. It said there are only two ways to look at your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle, and then the other is as everything is one. If everything is a miracle. So I have really focused on living my life in expectation that everything good works for me. Everything good works for other people. And I've really worked on, like, when people are talking to me, if they're talking about something negative, I shift my focus. And I'm just like, and I've now realized that it's so funny when I hear people like come around me who hear me say these things, when they come to ask me questions, it's like they answer their own question because they come with a negative question. And they're like, well, but this could be happening to me for a reason or whatever. And I know it's because I've constantly repeat that to them. And so it's really cool to see other people be students of that. And so that's two things that I want you to recognize. Like, you can have two different perspectives, as if nothing's a miracle, which on the Manifest show, one of the dudes was a skeptic and one of the dudes was an atheist. So he didn't believe in anything. And at the end of the show, time and time again, God showed him miracles after miracles after miracles after miracles. And at the end of the last season, he said something like, I believe, you know? And so it's just a matter of like what your expectation is. Like, are you going into a season? And if you're in a season right now where you're like, this season's crappy. Okay. Well, ask yourself, how can it serve you? What is it teaching you in this moment? And that is the biggest blessing that you could probably receive during that time, because it's not always going to be easy, you guys. Having faith and all these things isn't going to be like, oh, magic pill, like here you go, everything's going to be perfect. But it is something that's going to allow you to move forward. And for the ones who are like, my life's great, I'm doing good, that is what I want. Like I said, I'm in a good season. So that's why I go to others and help them with their issues. Someone comes and like, not necessarily complains to me, but comes to me with a problem, I'm going to help them figure out a solution. I'm going to let them know, you know what, I've been through this. I'll help you through this. And so be a good steward of that, and be able to send someone else gratitudes, and be able to send someone else like, you know, the reason for their season. Help someone through their season, because I promise you there will become another season again. We all go through life. It's not necessarily expecting that all, like, there's going to be bad seasons in your life, but let's just be realistic. Life happens. You don't know when it's going to happen. And something that I had an epiphany of, and I'm kind of all over the place because I'm just like thinking as I go too, because Morgan and I had a really long talk the other day. It was me, Morgan, and Amber. And Amber's a girl on my team. She's a leader on here. And a couple weeks ago, I was just feeling like funky. Like I was not happy. I was just not vibing. Okay. And it wasn't because anything was going on in my life. It was genuinely just like a sad feeling that just like came as a wave over me. I don't know why, don't know where it came from. And I do believe in like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. But I literally, the moment I felt that, I started saying, oh no, I don't want this spell of depression again. I don't want this depression again. And then when I was speaking to Morgan and Amber, I was just telling them like how I felt, because they were with each other. So I was just talking to them, and I was just like, I don't want this depression to come back. Like, I don't know where this depression is coming from. And they're like, was anything going on? And I was like, no, everything is perfect. And Morgan, she's an awesome leader, and she's a good friend. She knows that I can take it up front. Like, you want her my feelings, like I can definitely take it. And she was like, I think that you're self-sabotaging yourself. Like, you don't think that you're worthy of things deep down. And so that's why every single thing, that anytime something good happens to you, you see a wave of something bad happen, because you expect that. And I know for me, so many times I've preached this over and over and over again. Every single good season I'm afraid to come out of, because I think something bad's going to follow. And that's actually a part in the Manifest movie that they had talked about. They were like, if something good happens, something bad has to happen. And then at the end of the movie, they actually realized that, like, or the series, they actually realized like all good things really did work out. And so anyways, but aside from that, I have always done affirmations. I've always done personal development. If you're on my team, you know I preach about that. If you do not do it to this day, and you've heard me or Cheyenne say this a million times, and you're not doing it, you're hurting yourself more than you know. It says it's unstable again. Can you hear me? Okay. Anyways, so I realized that I was self-sabotaging myself, and no matter how many affirmations, or no matter how many times I looked in the mirror and said, you're worthy, you're beautiful, you're all these things, every single time something good happened, I self-sabotaged it and automatically started just thinking of the what if scenarios. And that's what I was doing. And immediately when she said that, she called me out on my BS. And I was like, you are so right. I was like, I have absolutely everything to be grateful for right now. Why would I let this like feeling ruin my day? And so sometimes you need people like that in your life. But also, if you are that person that you feel like is someone that like you really, I feel like most of us can really, really, really deep down say that we are truly blessed. Okay. Some of us really do have situations that I pray and hope that I never have to go through. And I'm like, goodness, I just hope that you get a break. But also I know that these people that go through things over and over and over again, it's because you've expected it for so long that you don't see any good things coming from it. And so that's where I want you to see like the expectation of your season, and knowing and asking yourself the right questions, saying, what is this season teaching me? What's something good coming out of this? And just constantly asking yourself those questions over and over and over and over again. That's what's going to help you through seasons of good, bad, whatever it might be. So there can be two sides of it. You can be going through a great season. You could not be going through a great season. Either way, it both serves you and it serves others through that. Okay. And so that was like definitely one point that I wanted to talk about, because I do feel like I don't know about y'all, but I do feel like a lot of life happened on my team, especially last month. Last month was absolutely terrible. Like for me personally, nothing bad happened. It was just like my mood was just like, I don't know, I did not like it. But you know what? It taught me things I did not want to go through. So even though it was a sucky season or a sucky month for me, it wasn't sucky enrollments wise or anything like that. It was just, like I said, the mood and then my team going through some things, like personal things. It was just weird. And now I look back and I'm like, what could it teach me in that moment? And it really taught me to be so present and be so grateful for every single thing that comes into my life, that no matter what happens, I'm not shaken. And I really want to challenge you guys to do this. And I can talk about the manifesting too, especially if you're on my team and you have not started doing this yet. I'm glad that I'm going to repeat this because some people have to hear it a billion times before you actually do it. But I cannot make the stuff up that comes with manifesting. And one thing that this video tells you, and I'll share it in here, but one thing that manifesting really teaches you to do is really diving deep into your gratitudes. And I don't mean just gratitudes like, God, I'm thankful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my TV. Like, not like things like, I mean, it can be things like that, but it means like being so present now, noticing the things that are in your like life that you were just so grateful for that you go into detail. And so I really want to challenge you guys, no matter what season you're in, to start manifesting and doing affirmations. Here's one right here. So what I do every single morning, and I'm going to give you all this tip too, is if you're not a morning person, I do not care. That's not an excuse anymore. I used to be someone who would literally wake up for my college classes at 11 o'clock and still be late. Like, ew, you know, and now I wake up at 7 and I'm totally fine with it. But I used to not be that person. I used to let that excuse rule my day. And so if you're that person, go listen to Miracle Morning. But anyways, so before I touch my phone, and I'll use this reference too because I'm listening to the book Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. It was referenced by Cami Pentecost. She told us to read it. And one of the things he said was, if you look at your phone the first thing in the morning, which about 85% of human population in like the US, I think, I don't think they use everybody else, but in the US, 85% in the first 10 seconds that they wake up, they check their phone. And if you're guilty of that, think of it like this. I used to be this way, and now I do not check my phone until I'm done with personal development. So think about it this way. When you check your phone before you, like right when you wake up, you are allowing about 100 strangers in your room while you're still in bed. You haven't brushed your teeth, you haven't brushed your hair, you haven't done anything, you haven't even really blinked, and you're just automatically letting them in your room. And it's like them shouting at you, giving them your opinions and all these different things. Do you not like, and that's like, if I think about that right now, that's irritating, okay? And I know that when I look at my phone first thing, and then I don't do personal development, I don't do my manifestations or gratitudes or anything like that, I'm instantly a little bit, not grumpy, but I'm like, just like my mind's already racing, you know? And so I want to challenge you to not do that anymore, because it's not serving you in a way that you think it is. And even if for those of you who work full-time jobs, you know, I worked a full-time job until last year, until I went triple. I went triple during that time. So there's literally no excuse, okay? I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning and got my stuff done. Was I exhausted? Absolutely. But guess what? I don't work that job anymore, okay? I work full-time from this income, okay? And so anyways, but before I check my phone, I get out my journal, I get out my devotionals, I do my spiritual development with that too. And what I do is I write out Dear God and Dear Universe. So I always address them, and then I always put the date. And I used to not date my stuff until this manifestation video told me to date it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's more important. Got it. You have to date it so you can know when those miracles came true. And so I address it, Dear God and Dear Universe. And then it says to write down like 3 gratitudes. And the 3 gratitudes are going to be so detailed that you're like envisioning it as you're, and it allows you to be present. I feel like that's honestly like the main reason for it. But being really present. So for this one, I said, I'm so grateful to be able, for the ability for my body to move and go to the gym. because I was about to head to the gym after I got done with this. And it was like, what a blessing it is to be healthy, to move around, to be comfortable in my own skin, to knowing that I could sit there and move every single day, get in my car with ease. Like, that's just a blessing. And so, like, it could be different things. One of them, I'm so, so grateful for my coffee, the way that it smells, the way that it tastes, the way that it makes me feel good, the way that it's warm in this cup. It makes me feel just really great and warm inside. Like, I'm getting so freaking detailed that if someone came and read my stuff, they'd be like, this girl really likes some coffee. Like, she really, really loves her coffee. And so I'd only do like 3 of those. So it's not like an overwhelming like amount, but that just allows you to be grateful. Then after that, what you do is you're going to write out statements. You're going to write out like 2 or 3 statements that you really, really, really want in your life. So for me, my biggest dream is massive duplication on my team, because I'm a huge yellow. So like, I instantly think about others. So I'm just like, I want everybody on my team to win. I want my paychecks to go up. It's a double win. Okay. And so it's just like, it's like something that I manifest every single day. I pray about every single day. It's just like a vision that I have for myself. I want 10 new diamonds this year. Like, I want all the things. So I'm going to manifest that. So what I'm going to write out is, you have 2 different options. You can write thank yous, or you can write it would be nice if, because if your mind tricks you, if you're someone who's like, you write thank you for this beautiful car and you're manifesting a car, but you don't have it, and your mind instantly goes, you don't even have that. What are you doing? You're stupid. Maybe don't do that. Maybe it doesn't serve you that way. So maybe you need to write out, it would be nice if. I know for me, I feel like I'm getting better, but I used to be extremely hard on myself. So instantly that voice would be like, you don't have this. You're not good enough. You're not worthy, blah, blah, blah. So I would have to write it would be nice if. Then you're going to write 2 specifically detailed things. I'm talking about so detailed that if someone came up to you, or God was like, hey, I'm going to bless you today, and then he came up and blessed you, it would be the specific like color, it would be the specific thing, it would be the specific time. It would be so specific that God wouldn't be like confused and say, oh, well, I thought you kind of maybe meant this or this or this or this, be really specific. So if I'm talking about a diamond, someone going diamond on my team, I'm going to talk about the amount of days it takes them to go diamond. I'm talking about the amount of distributors that they enroll, the amount of duplications, all the Zooms that they're on. I'm going to get so freaking detailed. Again, I will send this video so you have a visual to watch this, but I'm just giving y'all some insight on it. So write out 2 things, and then you're going to date it, or you're going to sign it and say, you know what, love Macy. And what I always do, and I actually learned this from I think it might have been Millionaire Mindset, or Millionaire Secrets of Millionaire Mind, where it said label yourself. And so I always label my paper. And today I wrote out thank you, or thanks Macy, the Millionaire Mind, the Millionaire Mindset, the Millionaire. Like, I'll write out those things. And if I don't want to be money related that day, I won't write out millionaire. I'll write out the duplication magnet. I'll write out the presidential diamond leader. I'll write out the most wonderful human in the world. I don't freaking know. I'll write out anything. So anyways, I challenge my team to do this. And I challenge just my leaders to do this, because I think that obviously everything rises and falls on the leader first. And so I wanted my leaders to dive deep into this, because I wanted them to see that I don't have to be the only one winning. I do not have to be the only one sitting here receiving all the abundance of money. I don't have to be all the ones that are receiving the blessings. I want them to receive it. So I started manifesting money. I started writing down a list of things that I was receiving from the manifestations that I got. And I got like lists and lists and lists of long things that were happening to me because of these manifestations. And it wasn't even like 2 weeks later or a month later. It was literally like 3 days, same day, 72 hours later. Start doing this. And if you want to be in a season where you're growing and like you're trying to gain a different perspective, just maybe write out a manifestation and ask God to say, God, can you please give me the vision for what you have in this season for me? In this moment, what are you teaching me? Guiding me? What are you guiding me on? And like, get specific on saying, I want to walk into this room and feel you. I want to walk in, I want to open this book and read a message to you saying that this is my purpose for today. Or you can be so specifically detailed. And then one thing she says in the video, it says, don't put pressure on it. And that's kind of actually the other thing that I was going to talk about anyways, is not putting pressure on the timeline of things. So obviously we dated the thing, but it's not saying like, okay, if this doesn't happen by tomorrow, I don't believe in this. No, that's not how it's going to work. Okay. And sometimes if you're a huge dreamer, but you get let down very easily, say that you chose, right when you joined this business, you're like, I'm going to go triple diamond in 1 day. And then you didn't make it happen, and then it just instantly discouraged you. Maybe you need to start with little things. Maybe you need to be like, you know what, I'm going to get free parking today. I did that. The first time I ever did this, I said, I'm going to get free parking. I'm going to get something free. I'm going to just have money sent to me. And guess what? The first week I had like $1 being sent to me. I had sample cash being sent to me. I got free parking. I got free liquor. I got a lot of free things. And it's really mind blowing just to talk about it, because I can talk about it for hours and hours and hours because I'm just so passionate about it. But my girls have seen such miracles happen that I can't even explain it. So if you are in the boat of you're not enrolling like you want to, it says it's unstable again. I just want to make sure I'm clear. Am I good? Good. Okay. So if you're in the season of you're not enrolling like you want to, you're not in the greatest headspace, your team isn't working like you think they aren't working. I know sometimes I'm like, why is my team not working? And then I'll look back and I'm like, you are so ungrateful. There are so many people working. You just found this girl who just signed up her first 2 customers. Like, what are you even doing? So be very aware of the things that you're grateful for as well, because we sometimes see only the negative. And if you're in any of those type of things, I really highly recommend you manifest, because you're going to see these things start to turn and sway your image of what you're thinking, and then you're going to really see that you've looked past all the good things that are happening in your life in this season. You're going to look past all the things, all the blessings that God has been trying to give you this whole time, but you've been so focused on the negative, you've been so focused on what's not going right, that's all you can see. That God's like, hey, I've been trying to throw this thing at you for a week and you've been blocking it every single day. And I actually went through that. Okay. I was asking for a specific money amount, and I was praying about it. I was manifesting about it. I was just doing all the things, and money was coming to me. It was coming to me from anywhere. I got checks in the mail randomly. I got tax returns. I got sample cash. I got It Works cash. I got just all different places. And at the end of the day, I was like, God, why am I not at this rank yet with this paycheck? And something just it was like a light bulb hit me, and it was just the Holy Spirit smacked me across the face, and he was like, excuse me, I just sent you this. I just sent you this dollar from over here. I just sent you $20. I just sent you this $300 paycheck over, or this, someone gave me a $300 check the other day. So this check, and then you're sitting here telling me that I didn't provide for you. And so don't be so obsessed with what it looks like, and don't put the pressure on yourself of when you receive it, because again, I'm going to go back to the same quote that I talked about. All good things work for us. Okay. So all good things are going to happen in the timing that it needs to happen. If you force something and you're like, you know what, I'm going to make this happen, and then you get it and then you lose it, don't be upset, because it was not meant to be in that moment. It was meant to teach you a lesson more than anything. And I think a lot of people need to hear that in this business, because we see so many times where people will promote to, triple diamond in their first 20 days. And it took me a full year to even promote to executive. And then 6 months after that to go ruby. And then 2 months after that to go diamond. And then 3 years to go double. Come on now. There's no timeline on anything. And if you're putting pressure on yourself, it's going to make you stressed. It's going to make you irritated. And it's definitely going to make you start blaming other people for your problems. I know for me, when I get irritated, I start blaming my team. And I love my team to death. And so hopefully they hear my heart when I say this. I start blaming my team. I start texting my leaders. I'm like, what can we do today to bring up this volume? Or what can we do today to hype up this team? And then I'm like, and I had this epiphany today. I was starting to get frustrated a little bit. And I had to self-reflect. And I was like, before you start sitting here asking all these questions for other people, what do you need to do? And so I sat down and I watched The Secret, because I was like, this is going to be a learning experience. I wasn't just watching TV to watch TV. It was an actual learning experience. And it gave me a perspective of, I was expecting things to happen on my team that were bad, because it's just how my mind drifts sometimes. And they're happening because I was expecting them. I was expecting them and not meaning to, but I was thinking in the back of my mind, what if scenarios. And now that they're happening, I'm like, you know what? I literally can't be mad at anybody else. I can't be upset. Can't be blaming God over here, because it was something that I thought about. And he was talking about just anything that you speak, anything that you expect, anything that you say, that is what your mind and the thing in the universe is going to shift to. So you have to watch out what you're speaking over yourself. So whatever season you're in, stop sitting here blaming everybody else, and stop sitting here looking at all the negatives. Ask yourself the blessings that are coming from it. And when you start focusing on that, y'all, I actually just made a new list today, because I was like, I need to start doing this again. And it's literally titled, Blessings Received. Okay. That's how serious I am about it. And I already have 2 things from today. Okay. And it's literally as simple as someone on my team signed up 2 customers, and then I went and got flowers for my wedding. And they were a lot cheaper at this place that I went to than what I found online. Okay. Like I feel like those are blessings. And some people are like, that's just like a coincidence, or that's cool, I guess. No, I'm going to see every good thing that happens to me as a blessing. And so I want y'all to start putting y'all's focus there, because even in the seasons where they don't, like, maybe, I don't know, I feel like business is like always just a great topic, but maybe your business is just not going as well as you wanted it to. You had this vision in mind. You thought your team was going to be hype. Again, start manifesting. Start manifesting the things that you want. Start looking inside of you and start expecting the good. So like tomorrow when you do your task, I want you to literally, before you start sending messages or before you hop on a Zoom or before you do anything, just say, I expect so much good to happen from this. And if your mind doesn't believe it, but your mouth is speaking it, your mind will catch up. Okay. And then one of the things that Jay Shetty said in his book, he said that your mind is obviously going to catch up with you when you start speaking things. So start going in the mirror. And I know y'all have heard this a million times, but when he said it, I was like, someone who's not in network marketing, someone who is just like all about he was a monk. And so like he learned true, just like love with himself. He found out like all about like abundance, but also just about being okay with where you're at. And one thing he talked about is like everything that you always say that you want to be or you want to become, or the things that you want to do, you already have everything, and it's in your heart and it's in your mind. You already have all the tools necessary to go for it, to just go for it and not doubt yourself. And I can tell my team over and over again that like there's nowhere in this place, in the Bible, and if you're not a super spiritual person, but literally anywhere, there's not like a plaque on your wall that says you're not worthy. That doesn't make sense. So if you're sitting here saying today, you know what, I'm mad at myself because I didn't work for the past 3 months, I'm just not worthy, I'm not cut out for it. No, you're always able to pick up and go again. Okay. And I was that person, like if I would have sat there and been like, oh, well, I haven't really been working for a year, I guess it's over with, I would not be sitting here today. And I'm a very, very, very proud of like the growth that I've had happen because of this business, because I didn't give up. So don't give up on yourself. You deserve way more than that. And know that you can have like such a positive perspective. And even on your worst days are going to be better than your days that used to be crappy, because you have a different perspective to know that it's still serving you in some way, shape, or form. Like today, I went and I try to go, oh my gosh, okay, so this is probably a really silly example and then I'll shut up, but I went to, I was just like, when I got in my car, I was like, all right, you know what, everything that happens to me is going to happen for good today. And I went to like 3 different drive-thrus because all I wanted was a Diet Coke, okay? All I freaking wanted was just like a freaking Diet Coke. And all the lines I'm talking about were like, one of them, nobody ever like spoke on the intercom, like never. Me and this van like sat there forever and we were like, all right, go. And then we went to Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A, you know, is always horrendous. And I was like, I'm not going to sit in this line. Their lobby isn't open. And then I was just like, you know what? This is probably a sign that I don't need a Diet Coke. And then I just went home. So like even the things that you don't think are serving you, they're probably serving you. Okay. I've been on a diet. I was actually doing a cleanse, and you're not necessarily supposed to drink things like that on a cleanse anyway. So it served me in some way. And I know that's so stupid, so funny, but it was just, that's like what type of perspective I have, even with the things that happen in my life. I can literally name so many different things that happen that I thought were going to go the opposite way. And I'm like, it served me. It totally served me. It's totally fine. So I hope that helps. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Tryan, I don't know if you want to comment. I didn't leave you any room to talk. So if you wanted to, sorry.
No, I seriously was just sitting here soaking up all of that. Like I literally just took like a page front and back of notes. That was seriously so good. But I did want to piggyback, I guess, off of a couple of things you said, just because it was like, it just spoke so much to me. But like I want to like ask you guys, like seriously, how many of you guys are truly feeling like some sort of stuck right now? Like not necessarily like, might not even be business, but you just kind of feel like I know like Macy was talking about earlier, she just kind of felt funky, you know? Like I felt that, excuse me. And so like I know what you mean, I guess, whenever you said that you were going through that. And it was crazy how when you were talking about the conversation that you had with Morgan, I had the same conversation with Shay. And it was crazy that you said that, because I literally was sitting here and I was like, oh my gosh, Shay told me the same thing. And it was like, that's so crazy. But I just thought it was wild because I mean, it just shows you guys that like, one, you're like literally never alone, which makes me always feel good. Because I know, I don't know, but anxiety is a real thing, you guys, and it can get in here and it goes crazy in here. And June honestly was the hardest month for me mentally. I had the best enrollment month I had ever had customer wise of 2021. So like, there was a lot of good that came out of June, but honestly, it was so mentally challenging and it was just crazy. And so different things that I guess did over June that I just kind of wanted to bring to you guys. I don't know, it was just crazy, the difference in perspective. And then the biggest thing that Macy was saying is just like, just how you're asking yourself, like, is this serving me, and just different things like that. I feel like that in perspective is the biggest thing, because once I just flipped around like what was happening in the situation, everything just started to change a little bit. And like I know for myself, like I just felt like I was in this hamster wheel, and it was like I don't really know what I'm doing wrong, but like it was just like this constantly, and it was like the weirdest feeling. And so what I started to do was I was reading a book called Winning the War in Your Mind, which I also know Macy has read, and that book is amazing. So if this is something that like you do want to grow in, I 10 out of 10 recommend getting that book. And I also recommend getting the workbook with it. I've read through the workbook too, and I really liked that. So I would definitely recommend getting the both of them together. But the biggest thing was I just started asking, like praying out loud. And you guys, like, I feel crazy because this is so not like me, but I literally every single morning am in our guest bathroom praying and like talking to myself. And so out of this book, The Winning the War in Your Mind, it calls them declarations, which affirmations, statements, like same thing, I think, but it's basically all of these just like declarations and affirmations that you're speaking over yourself. And the biggest thing is that you're creating them to fit with you. And I think that was the most important thing, because there was all of these things that I was being revealed to, I guess, about myself through this book, and different declarations that I could make for those things that I personally needed to work on. And it was crazy because I mean, I don't know how long ago I read the book, but I can even just say for now, it's crazy just to see like just the mental difference in like with that. But I would just continue to ask and pray, like, what are you revealing to me? Like, what do I need to learn? Because honestly, you guys, this hamster wheel, and I say this and I hope you guys hear my heart, because I am so grateful for where I'm currently at, but I've been triple diamond for 2.5 years. I'm over it. I'm like done. And I'm like, I hope you guys like hear my heart. I'm so grateful, but I just want to go to the next level. Like I want my team to go to the next level. I want our leaders to go to the next level, just everything. I just want more. And I just want to keep leveling up because I feel just at this thing. But the biggest thing was it was me with this lid. Like I was the one that's like pushing this lid down. And that was kind of like what was revealed to me. But I had never had one of those moments before, like where it was like, oh my gosh, like I can fix that. I hope that makes sense. But seriously, you guys, if there is something that like you truly are feeling stuck with, I just want you to pray and like pray daily. And it's not going to happen overnight. I kid you not, you guys. What was most challenging about June, and I hope you guys will like relate to me or feel me on this, was having to take action even when I literally did not feel like it. I have never experienced that in 3.5 years where I truly just did not want to do anything, but I still worked. And that feeling, like that was keeping me like through June, it feels so crazy just to look back and be like, look at what you did. You know what you went through? I know there's a TikTok where it's like that sound, it's like, bitch, you doing a good job. And that literally is the TikTok that I was like talking to myself. And I know one of my girls made that TikTok today with that sound. And I'm like, yes, like you are doing a good job, And I just thought it was crazy just to see, because I mean, like we all say like, yes, it's a decision and a decision. But honestly, you guys, like you have to take action behind it. And that action for me was just like doing a couple things on my checklist, like just doing the best that I could. There were literally days where I was bawling all day long for no reason. I have no idea why. I still don't know why. But I just was crying and crying and crying, but I still was showing up in the best way that I could and being as vulnerable as I could be, I guess, on social media, because at the same time, I felt like a crazy person because I didn't know what was going on. I just was crying. So, yeah, I know you're like raising your hand. Do you feel me on that one? And that was exactly how I felt. So with that, you guys, just if you're in that feeling, just yes, like I want you to pray about it. I want you to like get that feelings, like I understand. But the biggest thing, what was revealed to me was through the action I was taking. It wasn't through me sitting on my bathroom rug being like, Lord, I'm so grateful. Like it wasn't from that. It was from me literally in here being on Zoom with one of my girls crying, just sitting here like just working. Because like that was what I had to do, and I know that kind of sounds like really sad, like I'm not depressed, kind of like the same thing Macy was talking about, like it was just that kind of like weird feeling, but you just have to continue to take action regardless of what you're feeling. And being on the flip side of that now, it's truly made the biggest difference. And so that was kind of the biggest thing that Macy said and stuck out to me was that, just because that is exactly what I've been going through in this season. And I just literally love that so much. So thank you, Macy.
Yeah, and I'll add something before we hop off. Something that I love is the community in this business. And so like y'all being on here right now, you can just see that like I really don't think that any other job would allow you to take mental health days or like be like, you know what, your mental health is important, or all these different things are important. Do you know jobs that teach you about personal development? No. My sister is a nurse, and I 100% believe that nurses, before they go into their shift, should like be doing some personal development, because the amount of freaking stuff that they have to deal with people that are ungrateful, and caring for others, that saving their lives is just crazy. And so if you're a nurse on here, shout out to you, but or nurses or teachers or anything. And so it's just crazy to me to see the opportunity and the blessing that we have. And so if you're in that person that you're just like, you know that you have a vision for this business, you just don't know where to start, I would really advise you just to ask your leader and just be upfront and be like, you know what action do I need to take today? And then go do what they tell you to do. Please don't be that person that like is sitting here blaming all the other people, all the other things around you, and then you're like, well, this business doesn't work, or this isn't working for me, or manifesting doesn't work, or whatever. Well, you're not even doing the tools to even necessarily to even move forward. And just know that your season, whatever season you're in right now, could be bad, could be good, whatever it might be, it's always serving you. And to know and have that perspective, and I promise you, when you wake up tomorrow, you can have like a really refreshing start and just being like, you know what, today's gonna be great. Today's going to serve me in some way, shape, or form, and I'm going to be able to serve others. And start doing the manifestations, and obviously do the work, like the 6 list things that you need to do in this business. And I promise you, you will rise so many different ways that you never thought. And then you're going to look back and you're going to be so dang proud of yourself. I look at myself now, and my family's very supportive. Like they've always been really supportive, but they look back, they always tell me, they're like, I'm so proud of you. Like this person who you are, like, I'm so proud of you. And I want to be like, you know what, this kind of sounds cocky, but I'm proud of myself. Like I am a greater human than I used to be. And I'm just so dang proud of myself. And I can say that with full confidence. And so I want y'all to be that confident too. Like I don't want y'all to sit here and wallow every day. And those days when you're like, you know what, I want to be proud, but I didn't do anything with my business, and now I feel sucky again, and I'm just going to repeat the same cycle over and over again. Don't do that. You have the advantage to stop doing that. You have the advantage to start doing things. It's all in your willpower, and I want y'all to know that like y'all already have the grit of what it takes in your heart and your mind. You already have it. You have every single tool. Just reach out to the person that you need help from, and I promise you they'll help you. But I do want to see people win this month. I really, really, really do. I woke up, even though June was a weird month, I woke up in July and I was like, I am on fire. I am ready to go. And I've been excited every single day. Like July is going to be great. And just know that everything's amazing. Everything's possible. Y'all can have just greatest blessings come to you. And then when you're a blessing, or when you have blessings come to you, then you can be a blessing to others. Or you don't even have to have blessings come to you. You can be a blessing and then you receive. But either way, just freaking go out there and crush it. Cheyenne, did you want to add anything before I stop this?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so, so much for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording.